Did you know that Halloween dates back to the Celtic and pagan times?
Around when I was born, I think.
There you go. Joining us now is Irish lifestyle expert Rachel Gaffney to talk about that. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Hello there. How are you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. I'm great.
Everybody was commenting on her accent earlier.
You could read the phone book and I'd enjoy it.
Now, my husband wouldn't agree with you. He tells me to stop talking.
It's delightful.
Well, I've dealt with you before on my radio show. We talked all things Ireland, which is amazing, and you've got a wonderful website, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I later learned that all things that we do here for Halloween dates back to Ireland.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of things that people don't know, and this is what I love, is telling all these stories about Ireland, or my real Ireland, as I tell people. So first of all, it's Celtic. You guys say Celtic, but they're Celtic. Now, the Celts, by the way, were the English, the Irish, the Scots, the French, and northern Spain. So those were the Celtic people. Okay. Now, long before Christianity hit Ireland, the Celts actually were practicing paganism. Right? So 31st of October, 1st of November. 1st of November was, we now know it as All Saints or All Souls Day, but it was actually known as Samhain, S-A-M-H-A-I-N, which is the Irish spelling. And what Samhain actually was the beginning of the winter. And it was this pagan festival, and they would light fires, and they were afraid of these evil spirits. Now, a black cat was very sacred. It was believed that the black cat might have been somebody who had lived a life of ill repute, and they came back in the form of a cat. So these people would dress up in these costumes, these really elaborate costumes, and these spirits known as puka, the Irish puka, what they would do is to ward off the evil. So that's where we had, 1st of November was All Hallows Day, hence All Hallows Eve, and now it became Halloween.
Okay.
So in Ireland now we have this huge festival called the Puka Festival, which will be going on for 3 days in just north of Dublin in a county called County Louth, Drogheda. And you can see some photographs coming up here of how they...
They're kind from the festival.
Yeah, so these are sort of ghoulish sort of... Now, the festival itself will be 3 days, and it'll be fun and food and everything, but a lot of our traditions here in the United States come from Ireland. So, jack-o'-lanterns. Trick-or-treating. The jack-o'-lantern was actually a story of Stingy Jack. And Stingy Jack...
Stingy Jack?
Yeah, he made a deal with the devil. He tried to make a deal with the devil, and what he did was he outsmarted the devil, or so he thought. But when he died and he went to heaven, or he was refused entry into heaven, and so he was sent back, and hell didn't want him. So basically, the devil gave him a turnip or a rutabaga with a little light carved. It was carved out with a little light inside it, and that's what he was given to roam the end of the earth forever. And so when the Irish emigrated to the United States, our turnips are the same as your rutabagas, but they're not as big over here. So the nearest thing they could find was a pumpkin. And so they would carve the pumpkin. And the trick-or-treating also came from, what they used to do is they would go around on All Hallows Eve, and the children would knock at the door, and they would sing or say a prayer for your soul for All Saints or All Souls Day, and you'd give them a little coin. And if you didn't give them a coin, what would they do? They would play a trick on you. So what they would do is they would maybe take the wheel off your cart or do something to your farm. They weren't evil things. But so it's kind of mired in this crossover until Christianity arrived in paganism, and then, so not everybody embraces Halloween, because it's this crossover from demonic to, which I'm a little uncomfortable with. It's not my favorite holiday. I'm not trying to be a killjoy, but it's just not my thing.
I think we're with you. I mean, we like the fun of it, the candy, and the cute, like what we saw earlier.
That's all. That's all for sure. And then also just a quickie, Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, is from Dublin.
Really?
Yeah, an Irishman, and he actually, so we have the Bram Stoker Festival every year in Ireland, in Dublin, and he actually wrote that in the Marsh Library. It's where he discovered his love of history and reading about Transylvania. So these are all these little things that people don't realise and associate with trick-or-treating and jack-o'-lanterns and puka and everything, so...
Goodness.
We got about 30 seconds left. Best website for you to go to?
RachelGaffneys.com, and then I do a podcast every Wednesday from the studios in Dallas, Rachel Gaffney's Real Ireland, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
I love it. As we go to break...
Now she says Twitter.
I know.
Twitter.
I love you so much.
I know. I love me some Rachel, too.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
Tomorrow... She did not just say that. Tomorrow is Halloween. Stick around. We've got something special planned. That was good.
So good.
That was good.
Funny.
See you guys later.
Sorry.
And smart.
Is that not good? Sorry.